OK, let's get more now on Carl Froch's retirement. Fraser Dainton is with another former world champion in Manchester.
Welcome to Hyde in Manchester, home of the Hatton Gym, because Darlis Perez is fighting here in Manchester against Anthony Crolla on Saturday night. I'm joined by a legend of Manchester. We'll talk about that in a little while, but first of all, Ricky Hatton, the big news of the day, obviously the fact that Carl Froch has decided to call it a day. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, Carl's a very, very, sensible lad. You know, he's obviously happy with what he's achieved. You know what I mean? I think, like Ben and Eubank will live off their, big fights together. I think, Carl will be happy with them massive fights that he had with George Groves, and I think he's had them wins now. I think he's happy with it. He's content with what he's done in his career, and he should be, because he's had a good one. He's what was good about boxing, really. He took on all comers, never shied away from a challenge, and that's what we love about our fighters. I'd like to think that's what people liked about me, and Carl was made of the same mould, so from my personal point of view, congratulations, Carl. I hope you enjoy your retirement, and you done us and the country proud, mate.
A lot's been said about the possibility of him maybe coming back in the future if another big fight comes along. Obviously, you did that yourself. What would your advice to Carl be if he was thinking about that?
Well, Carl will have his own reasons. I have my own personal reasons, for coming back. A lot of fighters make a retirement purposely so you invite them back, don't they? He might be playing a clever game, but no, I mean. Your own body, you know what I mean? It's nice that, Carl has retired at the top of his game, you know what I mean? And not many fighters get the chance to do that, me for one. I mean, I'm very proud of my achievements. You can't say, I don't think I tarnished my career because it's in the record books what I did. But I think it's nice to go out on top, innit? And that's exactly what Carl's done. So my advice to Carl would be, get your pipe and slippers out, put your feet up and enjoy the fruits of success. He's got a wonderful, probably career in doing your job, Fraser, to be honest with you. He's still going to be involved in boxing, and if you're involved in boxing, you're less likely to make the comeback, I think.
Let's look ahead to Saturday night. 10 years ago, of course, you were considered the underdog when you fought Costa Tszyu to win a world title. Now we've got Anthony Crolla going up against Darlis Perez in a similar sort of position. Yeah, in a very similar sort of position. I think most people are sort of like tipping Perez, and I don't rightly so. Personally, I haven't seen that much of him, so I can't really comment him. But I have seen plenty of Crolla, and I've been in the gym lately, at Gallagher's gym lately, and Anthony's been looking absolutely fantastic. Best shape I've seen him in. Really confident in the way he's going about work and how he's talking. So he's got a great chance, and what a success story. It was a few years ago when Anthony was losing his 6th rounder, that you'd have said, Anthony Crolla, fight for the world title or be a world champion, you'd have said no chance. But like the defeat of George Groves' defeat of James DeGale, I think it made James DeGale, and I think Crolla's had his ups and downs. He got beat by Derry Matthews. I think it's made him a better fighter. He's come back stronger, and what a real success story it would be after them. He got beat up, by trying to do the right thing with them next door, trying to help his next door neighbours out. I mean, if he could come back after that career-threatening injury in his immediately next fight and win the world title, what a success story that would be. And it couldn't happen to a nicer kid. I think Anthony sometimes is too nice to be a boxer, but it's a real success story, and what a good moment at the time for I mean, my fight with Costa Tszyu, as you mentioned earlier, was 10 years ago. Terry Flanagan just won the world title a few years ago. If Anthony Crolla and Scott Quigg can bring the belts home, what a great little small era for Manchester boxing. Certainly will be. Ricky, thanks very much indeed for joining us. Anthony Crolla versus Darlis Perez, part of a massive night of boxing here in Manchester on Saturday.
Excellent stuff. Thank you very much indeed, Fraser. Plenty of social media chatter on Carl Froch now that he has decided to call it a day in terms of his professional boxing career. What a record it was as well. 35 fights, 33 wins, 24 of those by knockout, just those 2 defeats. In 2010 to Andre Ward, sorry, to Mikel Kessler, and 2011 to Andre Ward. But he's had so many incredible fights, and on our poll today, we're asking you which was your favourite Carl Froch fight of his career. We'll show you how the poll is getting on in just a moment, but there are 4 choices for you. So let's just show you now those 4 choices. We're going to start off in 2012. And this was when he'd lost to Andre Ward and returned to Nottingham to fight Lucien Boutet for the IBF World Super Middleweight title. Froch dominated. He forced a stoppage in the 5th round. So if this one gets your vote, tweet us at Sky Sports News HQ. Use the hashtag you can see there. Hashtag SSNHQBUTE, Boutet. OK, so that's your first option. This is your second, the rematch with Mikkel Kessler, after Kessler had won the first time around. This was another 12-round war with Froch coming out the victor to win the WBA title. So for this one, hashtag SSNHQ Kessler 2. If you tweet us at Sky Sports News HQ. And then we have the first fight with George Groves. Froch showing true grit in this one, coming off the canvas for only the second time in his career in the first round, weathered the storm, barrage of punches, and then the referee stepped in the 9th round. This was the controversial one, wasn't it? So hashtag SSNHQ Groves 1 if you want the first fight. And if you want the second one, which I think Froch would like you to vote for, this is the Wembley Stadium knockout, the Groves rematch then, at Sky Sports News HQ, and at hashtag SSNHQ Groves 2. So those are your options. OK, so let's just have a little look then at how this poll is shaping up right now. And as it stands, that rematch with George Groves is getting your vote. So clearly, Carl Froch has had a little words, and you're listening to him. 56%, more than half of you are going for George Groves the second time around, and just under a fifth going for both Lucien Boutet and Mikkel Kessler. Not many of you at the moment going for George Groves' first time around. But you know what? We've shown you the fights, but if you want a little bit more guidance on who you should vote for, then go to our website, skysports.com, and you'll be able to have a look at a few potential helping hand in terms of, you know, what the Sky Sports boxing team have thought on Froch's career. And you can find out what their favourite wins are. As I say, go to our website, skysports.com. And as we mentioned, Carl Froch will be a part of the team for a big night of live boxing on Sky Sports this Saturday. Scott Quigg defending his WBA super bantamweight title. Anthony Crolla challenging for the WBA lightweight title just 7 months after fracturing his skull, remember, and breaking his ankle when he was attacked by burglars. Should be some fight that, and coverage starts over on Sky Sports 1 Saturday, 7 o'clock. Don't miss it.